Well, Dr. Paisley, many people cannot believe that you're now sitting behind that desk. How does it feel?
Well, I've been sitting beside desks and behind desks for a long, long time, so it just feels like any other desk in any other place. But of course, Northern Ireland has been through a very dark valley. I trust we're coming out at the other end where there'll be some sunshine for us. But that will only happen if we are all dedicated to do our part in getting Northern Ireland back to a place where people can live in quietness and peace and comfort, can bring up their children, and can enjoy the beauties of the most glorious little province in the whole world.
You look quite comfortable sitting in that armchair. There's a lot of pressure on you now. You've got to deliver. If Northern Ireland fails now, Paisley has failed.
Well, I don't think, of course, accept that. I believe that we don't need to fail, but I believe it'll be by the joint effort of all right-thinking persons and people that have the good of Ulster at their hearts. And if we could get all these people to see that here is an opportunity, here is the possibility of a different Ulster from what we have had in the past years, then we could go forward. And I believe there's a sort of buoyancy in Ulster at the moment among both Roman Catholics and Protestants that they're seeing a way forward.
That's the positive side.
Yes.
And the negative side, of course, from your supporters is that you've sold them out. The people who voted for you in the election voted to keep Sinn Féin out of government, and you've sold them out.
Well, that thesis is untrue, because at the last election I told them what was in my mind and heart, and they actually voted more for me than they ever voted before.
So you think people voted for you to sit down in this office and laugh and do business with Martin McGuinness?
I think people voted for me to do what I said I would do. And I said, if we see the IRA changing its ways, if we see it doing certain things, we will respond to that. But then, of course, there's another issue here. We were told by the two governments, and especially by the Secretary of State, that if we didn't do this, then it was going to be curtains for our country.
That was a
and
threat,
we were going,
wasn't it?
Yes, it was a threat. It was going to be a plan B.
And do you really think they would have gone through that?
How would have I faced my people if I had allowed this country to have the Union destroyed and a setting up of a joint government by the South of Ireland, which the South of Ireland also claimed, as well as Mr. Hayne. But we're going to take us over. And, you know, I know what you would have been saying to me if that had happened.
But
and I know what the people would say. So I think that I had to take a step that I had a lot of heart searching on, a step that brought me a lot of pain, a step that had to put me out of the class of a coward into the class of a man that was prepared to sell himself and his reputation for the sake of his country.
a man who said never. A
Oh,
man
yes,
who
I
said he would smash Sinn Féin, and they've got more and more popular since. And now he's your number two, Martin McGuinness.
Let me say to you today that I said never would there be Dublin rule. And I could only keep that promise by doing what I did and take plan A. Whatever people want to say about Sinn Féin, IRA, they already know my position on that very, very well.
Well,
indeed.
do they? Because
They
has
do.
your position changed now? Do you still say Sinn Féin IRA, or is it just Sinn Féin?
No, I say Sinn Féin IRA, and I still say that. I also.
So you're in government
no,
with the IRA.
What I am saying to you today, they know, and I don't. When they come into the room, I don't suddenly change. I'm just the same Ian Paisley with Ian Paisley's views and strength of views, and I am not a compromiser. It's not in my being to be so.
Does the Ian
and
Paisley
I speak straight.
Does the Ian Paisley still hate Sinn Féin IRA?
I hate the principles of the IRA, and I hate the murders that they carried out, and I hate what they did to innocent people.
Do you hate
I
the
certainly
Deputy First
hate that.
Minister, Martin McGuinness?
Now the Bible, I'm a Christian, the Bible says love your enemies. And I love my enemies and I pray for them that they may be led into the path of light. Even this enemy that is now grilling me, I can say truthfully, I love you and I pray for you. And I'm not saying that as that's serious.
Yeah, but here's what the audience that phones me every day on the radio show. Here's one of the things that will be talked about in pubs and clubs throughout Northern Ireland. When Martin McGuinness is sitting in this room, will Ian Paisley be laughing with him?
No, I don't laugh with him. I told them the day that I met them that this was not a love-in, this was a work-in. I also told them, too, some very strong things about the judgment of God.
But how are you going to do business in here with them? You're going to have to
Well,
have a fantastic relationship with them.
You do business with people that you don't like. You do business with people that you don't like their language, you don't like what they do, you don't like their practice, but you do business with them in a work-in, not a love-in.
But there would be a lot of DUP supporters, Dr. Paisley, who would
Well, please don't you talk to me about a lot of DUP supporters. For those DUP supporters all voted. And they voted in droves. And we had the largest turnout for the DUP that we ever had in history.
Nobody's voted for you since you agreed to sit down with Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness.
Well, I knew I was going to do it. I said I'd have to do it. I said I wouldn't like to do it, but I said if we're going to make this thing go and they're going to accept the St Andrews Agreement, then I would, although it would go against me, I would have to swallow my spittle, I think I said, and I'd have to do it.
How do you think you're going to feel in this room when he's sitting here and he's doing that business? How are you going to feel? Are you going to feel a sense of revulsion? What's it going to be?
I feel I have a job to do for the people of Ulster, and no matter who's sitting before me, by the grace of God, I'm going to do that job.